There's a moment that happens in a garden. I don't think everybody ever tells you about this when you start. It's not the harvest. Everybody talks about the harvest. It's not even the planting, the hopeful part where you push a seed down into the dirt and imagine what it might become. It's this other thing, somewhere in the middle, that I never expected would mean as much to me as it does. It's the moment you stop thinking. Let me explain what I mean. I'll be straight with you about something first. I didn't grow up gardening, not even a little. I came to it sideways. Through this job, I edit the videos here, and I started out just cutting footage of other people's gardens, learning the names of plants because I had to. Put them in the captions, nodding along to advice I didn't really understand. And then somewhere along the way, almost by accident, I started doing it myself. A single pot on the windowsill, then a couple of pots, then proper bed out back. I had no business attempting, and next thing you know, that got me here. And while I'm out there pulling weeds, turning over a leaf to just check the underside, just poking around to see what's changed since yesterday, my head goes quiet. All the noise that's usually rattling around up there, the deadlines and the worries about the 17 things I've got to do all just settles down. For a while, the most important thing in the whole world is whether the squash got enough water. And I cannot tell you how much I needed that and how little I knew I needed it. That's the thing I really love, not the vegetables, though the vegetables are wonderful. It's what the garden does to me while I'm growing them. I've become a morning person because of it, which my younger self would find hilarious. There's a kind of quiet in the first thing of the day, before the day's properly even started, when the light's still soft, everything's covered in dew, and I'll wander out and look at a coffee, or I'll just look at the plants with a coffee, just to see how see how the night treated everything. No phone in hand, no plan, no agenda, just me and the plants and a coffee, quietly taking stock of how things are coming. Started to think that just about everybody could use 10 minutes like that in their morning, garden or no garden. And then there's the smell of it, too. Tomato leaves on your hands, the sharp green smell that stays with you, cut grass, the smell of soil after a bit of rain. Never noticed smells before, not really. And now they stop me in my tracks. There's something else I love. Gardening also runs a different clock than the rest of life. Everyone else wants to be fast, has to have notifications. The garden doesn't care, doesn't have notifications. A tomato takes as long as a tomato takes. And there's not a single thing you can do to hurry it along. Now, I think your relationship with the garden is the most healthy relationship you have. You need to be patient. You learn some things you simply have to wait for. You plant a tree, you might not sit in shade for 10 years. First year it's leaves, second year it creeps. It's an old saying, it turns out to be completely true. There's humility in that. A reminder that you're not in charge nearly as much as you think you are. Nature does what nature does, and your real job is mostly to pay attention and try not to get in the way of it too much. I love that gardening gives a year of shape as well. Because for this, 1 month just blurred to the next. I was just speeding up. There's the quiet, hopeful stretch of starting seeds. Then there's the mad scramble in late spring when everything needs to be done at once. Then the long, generous middle of the summer and the slow winding down, the tidying up, the planning for next time. It's grounding, having a calendar that's written by the weather and the light instead of by a screen. And I love that a garden is honest with you. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't flatter you. If you do something wrong, the plant sulks. The fruit splits open. It's not personal. It's just information. And if you listen, you get better. One season at a time. There's no shortcut. There's no faking it. And trust me, there's a lot of areas of life where you got shortcuts and you can fake it. It's refreshing. But then there's the generosity of the whole thing. This is the part that still gets me a little. You put one bean in the ground, and if all goes well, you cut back dozens. A single tomato plant, give it more tomatoes than you know what to do with. So you're leaving bags of them on the neighbors' porches and ringing the doorbell and walking away quickly. The entire thing runs on abundance. It wants to give. There's something almost moving about being a small part of a system that is trying its hardest to make money more than it needs to. And that's why so many of you have been watching this have been at it for decades, because it gets you hooked. It's not a hobby you do for one season, then move on. It's the thing that grows right alongside you year after year, and it changes as you change. I'm still new to this compared to most of you. I know that. And most of you have forgotten more about gardening than I'll ever manage to learn. But maybe that's exactly why I wanted to say all this out loud. Because I can still clearly remember not caring about any of it. And I can feel how much I care now. And that change, the quiet falling in love with the dirt and the seasons, and the patient little miracle of a thing growing because you helped it along, that felt worth talking about. So that's what I love. Not really the gardening itself, the person it turns me into while I'm doing it. If you've ever felt any of that yourself, I'd love to hear about it. Tell me about what hooked you. I'll read every word.